So Spruance deployed in mid-July for a scheduled 7th Fleet deployment with Carrier Strike Group 3 and USS Abraham Lincoln. Just before our first port visit in early August, we were scheduled to pull into Saipan, we found out that we would be heading to 5th Fleet, proceeding through 7th Fleet and operating in the 5th Fleet area of responsibility.
Yeah, we did not expect to end up in the Red Sea, that's for sure. We wanted to be ready for it, though. So we were training towards a 7th Fleet deployment mainly. As soon as we got the word that we were going to 5th Fleet, we transitioned all of our resources and brainpower to researching everything we possibly could to make sure that every sailor, from the captain all the way down to the lowest ranking person standing a watch, would be ready for any engagements.
So my expectations going into deployment is that we were going into 7th Fleet, and my job day to day would be to cover all the drills and operations and anything else going along the ship. Then we got the news that we were heading to 5th Fleet, and those expectations changed quite a bit.
A pretty intense situation. You never think that you're gonna be doing your job, which is defense of the ship, and being the person responsible for calling those types of things out. So it was kind of a surreal moment to know, like, oh yeah, this is happening right now. But it was also pretty rewarding to know that our teams felt so proficient and confident in what we did. So it felt like nothing. It was just another day.
Yeah, I think the initial feeling is a little bit fear of the unknown and fear of the change, but then it's settled into just a heightened level of excitement, and that kind of maintained throughout the entirety of the transit.
During the engagements, I was standing the first watch when we were engaged. We were in the northbound transit. It was very, very dark outside. It was very early in the morning, and we didn't know what to expect. We were in company with Stockdale and Indianapolis, who was in trail. And our responsibility was to defend the ship if we were engaged, but nobody knew it was coming until we had the call-outs from the combat watch standards, and we went from there.
Just as we broke through the north part of the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, we had the first initial fireball calls coming from the north and then subsequently from the east. And we saw USS Stockdale engaging first, and then as our doctrine tripped and we evaluated the threats, we determined them to be valid, and we were in the fight and started engaging at that point.
You can hear the audible, like, and I said, oh wow, this is real.
That first missile that was shot, I was on watch. So it was quite a bit of I can't even describe it.
I went up to MA1 Nieves and I asked him, I was like, are we going to be shot at tonight? And he turned and looked at me and said, oh yeah, we're getting shot at.
But it was very, very scary at first. And then when the first engagement happened,
turned out it was a ballistic missile. This thing had the capability of reaching the ship in a matter of seconds. And they have an extremely high payload that is very capable of inflicting a lot of damage on one of our ships.
Everybody took a pause. It was like we stopped in time.
It was very, very quiet, exceedingly quiet. We let the bridge know what was going on very briefly, and they also saw Stockdale engaging. So from there, I had to make a decision to engage at the exact same time or wait just momentarily to make sure that we had double coverage and weren't intercepting at the exact same time. It got quiet, made the assessment, made sure that the contact was indeed descending and inbound. And after about 3-4 seconds of silence, I looked at the captain and said, "Captain, I'm rolling fist green."
I don't think there's anything scarier than knowing that you're not on a console, but you're trusting someone else with your life.
We were working. We were doing what we were trained for.
If there was ever a group to do this with, I'm going back 100 times with the Spruance team.